welcome back to True Talk Podcast and True Talk Tuesday, y'all. I'm not by myself.
What's up, everybody?
I'm with my brother-in-law. This is Tucker Sears.
Your favorite brother-in-law?
My favorite brother-in-law.
Some would argue.
Yes. No.
We could call this True Tuck Tuesday.
True Tuck Tuesday.
Let's see how many times we mess
True
that
Talk
up.
with Tuck. True Talk with Tuck.
Triple T's.
Triple T's up in the hizzle. Yes, so I have my brother-in-law on here. You guys already saw with my sister on here. And, you know, the one we were talking about on the podcast named Tucker, this is him.
Which I'm mad that I didn't get that invite first. Like, I'm mad that she got first. I guess ladies first.
Guys, this has been a secret feud between us.
I really came down here to fight her, and then she snuck me in here.
I just have a question. How was your trip to Ringgold?
It was good. We stopped by Chick-fil-A. The Lord's Chicken fueled this trip. I need that sponsorship, actually.
Me too.
But I was prepared to fight, like I said. So I was stacking up on my protein, getting the Lord's Chicken, and it was a long trip. The whole hour-long trip from Vegas,
I know. So, you guys, I'm excited to have him on the podcast. Let's get to our questions because me and Tucker have a lot of little chitty chats, I feel like, on the side.
Yeah.
He holds a lot of wisdom.
I wouldn't say that.
So I was excited, and to be honest, the reason for the longest time, which you know this, is just because I just didn't know a topic to talk about.
Yeah. And
so we're just not having a topic. We're just talking.
Which is True Talk Tuesday. True Talk Tuesday.
True Talk Tuck Tuesday, something like that.
Something.
But before we go in, don't forget to download, y'all. It helps out so much just to kind of spread the word, spread the message. Like I said last week, we had listeners in Africa and Germany, all those crazy things in America. So just continue to share, like, download, give a rating, give Tucker a shout out on this for doing this.
I need to go download, actually.
He's gonna go download. He's surprised. He's actually not listened to a single episode of this.
Not a one. I'm kidding.
I'm just kidding. They've been great, super supportive. But we're gonna go into this. So the first basic question. Before we dive deep into the spiritual stuff, we're gonna go basic.
Okay.
What's something super embarrassing that you did today?
Today. I showed up at a hospital to go get blood work to see if I'm lactose intolerant. And preface this, I've been to 2 doctors' offices trying to get this blood work test. And so old Tuck walks in there like smiling, like, I'm happy to be there. I'm not happy to be there.
He's like, Jesus loves you.
I was wearing the Jesus loves you. I was hoping that'd make the nurse like not stick me as hard. So I walk into this hospital. I sit there for an hour and a half, and like, I don't know. It's a gift, but like, I talk to everybody, and so I'm sitting in this waiting room having conversations with like 4 different people about 4 random different things, and like, they're all there for surgery, and so.
Surgery?
And they're like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm just trying to see if I'm allergic to milk. And so, needless to say, after an hour and a half of waiting in this hospital, they come back and they were like, hey, we don't know what this test is, and you're not getting it today, so... I
love how you're like, I'm just trying to see if I'm allergic to milk. Yeah. Not any other form of dairy, but just milk.
That's the only one that's important, really. But so, I literally walked right out of the hospital. I still got the arm bracelet on, which that also concerned me. Like, I almost passed out when they gave me this thing, because I was like, am I being admitted? Like, what is going on?
Abby, you need to come and get me.
I did. I called her. I was like, yo, you might have to come get me. And I'm sitting in there, and the lady's like, dude, just calm down. Like, you're fine. And I was like, no, I'm not fine. Like, y'all about to jab me with a needle.
Cry.
I was like pre-mental breakdown. Like, it was coming. And then they took me back in the room and made me sit there, like I said, for, an hour and a half. And I'm sitting there just trying not to cry. And all these people are having
these people having surgery, and you're just getting blood work, and you're trying not to cry.
Hey, that's a tough sequence. They knew what they were there for. I didn't. I just knew.
You're just sitting in a hospital just wondering what's going on.
They knew they were coming to the hospital for something. I didn't know what I was doing.
That's actually really funny, though.
Yeah. Is it, though? I'm sure I made somebody's day. I don't know. They seem to laugh.
You made my day.
Yeah.
Yes, that's actually... No, that is funny, though. Okay. So I like that. Embarrassing story of the day.
I mean, if we were talking like the embarrassing story of the life.
Just embarrassing story of your life. Share that one.
Ooh, I don't know. I've done a lot of dumb stuff in my life.
We're going to talk about it later on the podcast.
I'm trying to think, like... There's been a lot of stupid stuff. There was one time, okay, I don't know if I can say this.
Just say it. True talk,
I came
y'all.
out of, so we were, my grandfather was a pastor of a church, and so I was in church, and as a boy you were taught you could go to the bathroom outside, and I don't know if I didn't know if I could.
I think that's a southern thing too.
It might be a southern thing, but I remember we might edit this out, I don't know, but they came out of church, they dismissed church, and I'm standing outside in the front lawn just going, and that was not a good time.
It's raining, but it's not.
I was like
three.
I was like 3. Yeah, I was like 3. So I guess that justifies it.
If you're
3,
did you
think it was like I was like 16 and.
I was about to say, if you're like older, that's a little bit different. But if you're 3, that can justify it. Because then at that age, it's just a kind of a cute, funny embarrassment.
That's a traumatic stress disorder for like not just me.
Every
for
time
everybody
now he walks into the church now, he's like.
For everybody, think about everybody else that has to like that experience that like.
They have it embedded in their mind.
Yeah, they're scarred for life. But we can cover that later. A most embarrassing story in ministry. We'll get to that later.
Cover it. Okay. We can do that one later. Okay.
That was a good one.
So now to get into which spiritual is just as funny.
Hold on. What was your most embarrassing moment from today?
From today?
Yeah. Not knowing my wife's last name.
No. Okay, that was just out of habit.
Yeah.
When I went to go pick that up, I just said Abigail Dickey out of habit because that's. For 19 years, I knew. For 19 years, I was picking up a gift card for them. For 19 years, I knew her as Abigail Dickey, and then she got married, so it's like all of a sudden changed. But no, from today, what did I do today? I worked today. I would say my most embarrassing thing was how many times I cried today.
I don't think that's embarrassing though. Like I just told you, I almost had a mental breakdown about getting a needle. Like.
Okay, but I genuinely. I cry, but I don't cry as much normally.
Yeah.
Today I cried like multiple over like small things, like the type of things that was like you see a dog commercial and you're like crying. Like I saw like a kid do something sweet to another kid, and I literally had my sunglasses on outside. I started tearing up. I was like,
that's pretty normal though. Like
I guess for a girl, I don't know.
I cry. What do you mean for a girl?
I'm so glad you cried.
I'm emotional.
I'm so glad you cried.
Abby does not cry.
No.
Abby is not a crier.
If you see Abby, which is my sister, his wife,
yeah.
I just said our sister.
I mean, we're all sister brothers and sisters and
sister wives. No. No, she doesn't cry. She'd probably be so mad. I bet you she's probably over there listening.
She probably is listening. If I went and opened that door right there, I guarantee you she'll like
went out the studio, she'd be just right there.
She's so nosy.
I can't say that. Me and her both always did that. If our parents were having a conversation like a couple months ago, whenever they had given us that, me and y'all, that big thing. We were like sitting at the door like listening. We were like, what do you think?
Was she here?
Yeah, she was here. She was like sitting there listening. We do. It's a bad habit that both of us do.
Yeah, y'all nosy. I don't know what the word is. I was gonna say snitches, but that's like snitching on people.
But yeah, I was about to say it's just between us. Like if there's ever something nosy, it's only like with us four. We're nosy with other people, but it just stays in our little clan.
No, she's nosy with everybody. Like she really does try to get like the tea on everything, and I'm sitting there like, it's so weird because she's not a drama person. I don't know.
She's gonna be so mad that we're talking about her for this long in the podcast.
Yeah, it's okay. She's my wife. Like she's my second priority. She's my second priority.
She's my blood.
Obviously Jesus. But yeah, like I've got a platform to like defend myself on.
That
against
you do.
It, but
we talked about Tucker last time on the podcast, so now he has his chance to defend himself.
But yeah, she does. Like she's so into everybody's business. Now she doesn't want to interact with it. Like she doesn't. Like she's the most like I'm out of drama. I don't want it. But she is like. She wants to know she wants to know, but she doesn't want to do anything about it. Like
she just genuinely wants to know.
Yeah, she's got, and I think that's where Kyra gets it. Like her dog, has the worst FOMO I've ever seen in my life. Like
that is the most sassiest dog. I thought Roscoe was really sassy, and he is. Kyra's like next, and Kyra's got eyebrows. Like her fur has give her eyebrows, and it's even more sassy.
I think it's the Lord, like. You know how
preparing you for when you have a kid.
Well, no, I was gonna say, you know how like
blood in her.
Your parents say, for all the mess you gave us, like your children are gonna give you the same mess. Yeah. And I think that's the Lord like starting on Abby because it's like that dog is so sassy and knows what it wants, and
Kyra does know what she wants,
and she's expressive about it. Like if she doesn't get what she wants,
when your grandma talked to her the other day at Easter.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was the cutest thing.
They've got their own language, but I think it's like preparing Abby for when we have kids. Like it is the start of, because I'm sure Abby was a little like demon child when she was a kid.
Did you not hear about her at Christmas time? When Mom let us open a gift on Easter, on Christmas Eve, and Abby opened it and was like, I think it was like, "This is not what I wanted," or something like that. Or something else. There's something she said that was like really rude and sassy and ungrateful sounding, and my mom was like, fine then. So my mom made her go to the store and return it, and ever since then, Abby was always grateful for all the gifts that she got. She was like, shoot,
you can't open presents anymore on Christmas Eve because of that, right? Isn't that a thing?
Mom, after that year, which I was only a baby, so thankfully I never really knew that, but like, Mom was like, no, you're not opening gifts anymore. No, we didn't.
Abby took the fun from everybody.
Before
we move forward, I told my most embarrassing story ever. I want to hear yours.
Most embarrassing story ever?
Ever.
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
With Abby's boyfriend that walked in the door and you...
Oh my gosh! How did you know about that?
Because y'all showed me there wasn't a video of it.
No, so one time my sister had one of her boyfriends here. And
how many did she have? You might have saw she had like 7 at one time.
No, this was just one of her ex-boyfriends were here, but at the time he was like her boyfriend. And like at this point I was like 12 or 13. I was like younger, and I could say that, and I could have been older. I don't really know. I was like
I heard you were 15.
I could have been 15. I genuinely don't remember. I don't remember. And
that just sounded better.
They were sitting on the couch in there, and of course whenever like my sister had a boy over, like, this is gonna sound really bad, I thought they were cute, and so like if I thought they were cute, this one in particularly was kind of okay. So
he was a good looking guy. I'm not gonna lie.
He was a good looking guy. He was good looking. So yeah, I'm glad you're congratulating him.
But like he was a good looking dude. He was. Yeah, I can give credit where credit's due.
So I was walking to Mom and Dad's room, and the way our living room is set up is it's like right here, and there's like not a hallway per se, but it's like a hallway in between my bedroom and then kind of a walkway. So I was walking to their bedroom. They're sitting on the couch, and I was walking, and I just farted literally right in front of them, and it was like not even intentional, just literally like slipped out. You ever had like those farts just slip out? It literally just slipped out, and I hid in the closet in my parents' room until he left that night. He was there for like another hour or something.
But they dated like forever.
They dated for a long time, so I couldn't avoid him. Literally, I couldn't avoid him.
Did he ever bring that up to you?
I don't know.
He had to have heard it, right?
It was loud. He had to have heard it.
Yeah.
There's literally no way. He was just sitting on the couch. They were watching me walk by. So there's literally no way. So yeah, that was probably a top embarrassing moment for me was that. And which now I laugh at it, but that time I literally hid in my mom and dad's closet for a hot minute because I was like, if he tries to come in here and use the bathroom, he's going to see me. So I'm going to hide in their closet so that, and yeah, it was embarrassing.
Nice.
That was it. All right. Well, we've talked about embarrassing stories.
We just derailed completely.
But I like it. Don't be sorry. I like it. Okay, so basic question asked everybody. What is a truth or a promise in God's word that encourages you or you hold on to in everyday life? Good moments, bad moments, everything. It's just, you're having a good day. You're like, man, thank the Lord that you love me with this, this. Yeah. Or you're having a bad day and you're like, Jesus, I really need help believing that you love me. What's something that helps you get through everything?
Okay, I've got 2. So the first one, I'm going to read them because I know where they're from. But my first one is Matthew 6, and it's like 25 through 34. But it talks about I'm not going to read it because it's really long. But it says it's talking about not being anxious, and basically if God takes care of birds, takes care of the flowers, he's gonna take care of you. Gyro was really written off my favorite verse. It was a dope. but yeah, I really like that verse because I think when you're going through hard times, I'm a very dramatic person, and so that.
Just kidding.
We just told the blood story of me giving blood, and I just made it sound like
anxiety attack because they put a bracelet on.
I made it sound like I was having heart surgery, open heart bypass. But yeah, I really like that because it's I get stressed really easily, and so sometimes I need to remind myself Tucker, quit being an idiot. God's already got, and I get stressed about stupid stuff, stuff that doesn't even matter, giving blood. That gave me almost a panic attack. Yeah. But it's then at the same time I can go get on stage and preach and not feel I don't know. It's a weird dynamic. But anyways, but yeah, sometimes you just need to be reminded that God's already got tomorrow laid out. Don't worry about tomorrow. But I'm also thinking, if you're so worried about tomorrow, what can you achieve today? Like that's a real thing.
That's
like,
gonna be quoted. Y'all just wait.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a quote.
If you don't, I mean, if you're so worried about tomorrow, you can't fully dedicate yourself to today.
yeah.
And so sometimes I have to remind myself, like, look at the task at hand, give it 110%, and whatever happens with that, like, you did what you did, and so just go with it. But the second one, I actually just got to, I just did a devotion on it, actually, at a middle school. But it's John 15:13. It says, "Greater love hath no man than a man lay down his life for his friends." And so I took that as like,
elaborate.
Yeah, well, so I told at the middle school, I was like, I'm really into like military stuff, like Call of Duty and guns and everything. And so I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
I would have never guessed with y'all turning my studio room into a gun room the other day.
Yeah, me and her dad have gotten into airsoft. And
well, let's reiterate. Dad has been.
Well, I was too.
Dad loved it, and you were too. They've just started to regain that love for it.
But now we found a path. It really started because we're playing again. And so...
someone coming out and the gun's coming out.
Well, it's because ammo's so expensive, so airsoft. But anyways, yeah.
Sorry, we got so distracted.
Yeah, but anyway,
military,
so like...
Call of Duty.
I was like 3 watching Black Hawk Down. Like most kids are watching like Rugrats or, I don't know, Blue's Clues. Paw Patrol. That's the one that I heard at the middle school. And something about guppies. There was a guppy show.
I only know this because my kids love to watch. Gup.
What is it?
Guppies. It's like an underwater
No, what's
school.
the name? I told him I was going to watch it, and I never got around to it.
I don't know. But it's something, it's like the mermaids underwater, and they go to school and they're friends. And like
that sounds dope. I'm going to watch that tonight.
It's out of all the kids shows, I could watch that one.
I'm going to watch that tonight. But anyways, so like most kids are watching, kid appropriate shows, and I was 3 years old watching Black Hawk Down, and really, I don't know why I thought that was a good idea, but like that started my love for military stuff. And I thought like at one point I was like, I'm going to the military.
I remember when y'all first started dating, you told Abby that, and she was like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Like, something, you were like, you're gonna go into the Navy or something like that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to the military. Obviously God had a different plan.
And then Dad was like, if he goes into the Navy, which
did he? I've never heard this.
Okay,
hang on.
No. My dad, let's just clarify, he loves all things military. Like, he was a military man, but when
he was a Marine.
He was a Marine. He was a Marine, yeah. So preface that. He was a Marine, so like, he was like, if you're gonna do anything, he's like, he's gonna be a Marine. He's like, he's not, like, it was so funny, but obviously he was joking, he loves all, but it's just like I guess a Marine thing to like.
Well, the Marines are like the tough dudes. But anyway, so I remember like hearing that verse when I was really young, and I was like, oh, cool, like it's talking about military stuff. Like this is the dopest thing ever.
Yeah.
But I think as I've gotten older, I've realized like in my own life that verse is so applicable because like I think we look at that verse as like physically laying your life down. Yeah. And that is a portion, like I do believe. But I also like I look at that verse in context of Jesus. And like Jesus physically laid his life down on a cross to forgive us of our sins. But also like he laid his life down as a servant for everybody, and so he always put other people as a priority, and I think that's I mean obviously he was Jesus, like he's higher than, but he, because he did that, he was able to have so much influence and so much impact on people's life, and like to me that's the dopest thing, especially like being in the ministry profession. Like there's a lot of times that you got to make sacrifices or you got to do things that you may not necessarily want, but it's realizing like that is a full demonstration of love, like laying your life, laying what you want, laying what you think is important down to serve others, to love others. And even if it's not like in a spiritual realm, like but like going to basketball games or like laying your free time down to go serve others, to be there for others. And I think eventually like that does pay dividends. Like I think you are able to have
you're able to show that you don't just say you love them, but your actions speak that. And
that's important to me. And I think again, I just think like, I look at Jesus's life, like I don't physically want to die, like right now that's not a
he's like, I got dreams.
But I got dreams that I gotta, but like just servanthood. He laid his life down to serve others, and that was him showing he loved others, and he had all this crazy like impactful stuff happen. So
take from that 2 things. 1, if you dress as the lilies and all that stuff, no need to have anxiety.
You gotta sing it.
I feel like I've already sung on this podcast like 3 times.
How did that turn out?
I don't know.
Did we make it on iTunes?
No.
Okay. We didn't.
I still want to get a contact with my producer.
Yeah.
But
that might be my next call. Do I produce an album? I don't know.
Guys, producer Tucker up in here. What's your producer name gonna be?
DJ Jazzy Tuck, DJ Tizzy Tuck. I don't know.
DJ Tizzy Tuck.
I don't know.
I'm gonna do that as a podcast featuring DJ Tizzy Tuck.
DJ Tizzy Tuck. That's actually what I did like when I was in kids church DJ, and I was like Tizzy Tuck like back there. I don't know. That was the stupidest thing ever. But I'm so sorry. I'm all over the place tonight.
It's okay. It's so funny though.
Chick-fil-A.
Okay, it's the Lord's chicken. Don't doubt Chick-fil-A. Okay, so just basic. Like, how did you get started in ministry? How did you get started in ministry? Like, did you know all along you wanted to be a pastor? Because he's a middle school pastor. Did you know all along you wanted to be that? And I know, like, you had, like, dreams and visions and stuff. But what did your journey, like, kind of look like? How did that look like for you? Go as deep as you want to go, as shallow as you want to go?
I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't know how I got here. I really don't. Like,
look back from, like... Because when I met you, you weren't doing this at all.
No, not at all.
You were in another profession, another college. I say I met you. I've known you. But, like, when you started dating Abby, you were, like, all this other stuff. What did that, like, transition...
I'm telling you, I really have no... Like, we're trying to figure it out. Like, there's days I look in my office and I'm like...
How did I get here?
Wow.
Me when I walk in here.
How did this happen? Like, no, so I'm sorry to cut you off. I interrupted that, but I was like, I'm joking.
You're fine.
But I was like, I have no idea.
I'm not Abby, okay? I'm not gonna like slap you. Just kidding.
I know. That's a touchy subject in our household. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. She's not.
All jokes. We love Abby so
we love
much.
Abby.
Abby, if you're listening, we love you.
I'm definitely gonna have to take her on a date after this. I'm like Cheesecake Factory or something.
I'd have to buy her something or make her something.
We might actually be doing her a favor. Like, she might be getting stuff out of this. I'm gonna take her to get some Borden's chocolate milk.
She's gonna say, just keep talking about me. The more I get out of it. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna hear about this in our entire drive back to Cleveland.
Okay, so.
How did you get started in ministry? So,
yeah, what did that look like? Because, like I said, when I met you however long, how long ago was it? I don't know.
You know me since you were young.
I've known you since I was young, but whenever, like, you started dating Abby, that was a hot minute ago.
Yeah.
What did that look like? Like, was there, like, a specific thing, or was it just over time God started to try kind of change your heart? What did that look like?
So, I started out, like, when I was young. My dad's best friend's a pharmacist, and so I was really good at math and science, and so... I knew, like, in middle school I wanted to go be a pharmacist. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
It was the dopest profession. And so part of that was I really liked the study of, like, medicine. Like, I liked seeing how it interacted.
You're good at that.
Yeah, I love it. Like, even to this day, like, when Abby gets, like, medicine prescribed to her, I do, I'm like, oh, this is this, and it interacts. I don't know. I'm geeky about it. But, yeah, I really, like, I thought that was my call. I went to Lee University, when I started in college, and I started as a biochem major, and I don't know why I thought that was a good idea, because it wasn't. I don't know who sold me that lie, but I started as a biochem major with, like, a pre-professional emphasis, and Lee is not known, I don't think, for science and stuff, and so it's like music and ministry pretty much. Now I've heard it's evolved a lot, but when I was there, it wasn't like that wasn't their priority. That wasn't, you could tell, like, we kind of, super nice building, super nice labs and everything, but our pass rate in our class, I took what Gen Chem 1, and our pass rate in our class is like, I think 4 or 5 people passed out of 30 something, 32 maybe. God. And so I went and took that class at Cleveland State to go pass it. Ended up taking Chem 2 back at Lee. And I failed it too, even worse than I failed the first one. But we started like 34, 32 people in that class.
Oh my
and
gosh.
7 of us finished. The rest of them dropped out halfway through the class.
That's why I don't do college.
And 3 people ended up passing that class. And 2 of them were on their third take. And 1 of them just got lucky with a C.
Gosh.
Yeah, that was a hard thing for me.
Not
and
for
I'm a really competitive person. Like, I'm sure Abby's told you, I'm a super competitive person. And so I don't fail well. It, like, that haunts me. It just does. Even like stupid pickup basketball games, like, I'll come home like mad at the world but like, so you come from where you're making like straight A's. I think I had like a 3.7, 3.8 GPA in high school, and I didn't even like hardly try, to where you're failing like almost every class at Lee, and I was like, I hate this place. So I looked for a way out. So I went to Cleveland State just to take some time off and like still pursue biology. And I finished all my classes, made like hundreds in Chem 1, Chem 2, made like 98 in OChem, which is like the organic chemistry. That's one of the hardest. Anyways, so I did all this. Knew I wanted to marry Abby, so I went to UTC. I was gonna finish my bachelor's degree, and my gallbladder failed. And like the first day of class, my gallbladder decided it wanted to shut down. And so Chattanooga, UTC is like 45 minutes away from my house. So I was driving to UTC. I was throwing up in the car. I just thought it was nerves. And I got there and I threw up like 6 times within 2 hours on that day. And I looked at my dad had to come pick me up because I couldn't drive home and because I was throwing up so hard. And I looked at him. I was like, I can't go through with this. Like, I don't know what it is. I can't. So I came back to Cleveland State, finished my degree in biology, thought, okay, I don't know what's next, but I know I want to get married to Abby. And so got my degree in biology, and a job opened up at a pharmacy. And so I was like, okay, like I'm going to go test this water and see if this is what I still want to do. Yeah. So I went and worked as a pharmacy tech up at a pharmacy. Like it was a local pharmacy, so it wasn't like CVS or Walgreens. And I was there for a while. I was there for about a year and a half. Yeah. And I hated every single second of it, which is like
I remember that. I remember that.
Like my mental break, like I'd have a mental breakdown per day, and I just realized like there wasn't a ton of money in that, which I know like you don't do things for money, but I wasn't making hardly.
If you don't like what you're doing, you might as well be making money.
I don't even know if I was making minimum wage there. Like it was hard.
Yes, but so you were doing a lot.
Yeah. And even like they would give me, which again I'm a really like driven person, so like when I see something that needs to be done, like even I can't fold shirts worth a flip. We sold shirts though, and so I'm trying to fold them and everything, and like that's not like that was what the girls were supposed to do, and like we were supposed to take the trash out as dudes, and like I'm over there trying to fold shirts, like sweep things, vacuum things. Like I'm a housewife to that pharmacy. I was
literally.
But I remember like there was so many days people would come in and like chew me out or yell at me or say bad things to me, like tell me I was a terrible person because I couldn't fill medicine.
So kind.
Yeah, and it was really hard. And so it was cool because like I had a relationship with Jesus. Like, I mean, I've grown up in church. Like, I knew who Jesus was, but I wouldn't say my relationship's anywhere close to where it is now.
Well, yeah.
I think, which obviously, like, when you get in ministry, I think you do kind of develop some things, but like.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't, I mean, I wasn't like a bad person or anything. I went to church all the time, but I wasn't like super seeking God, you know? And so, my dad's a pastor, and so a job opened up part-time at our church working in maintenance. Mm-hmm. And so I remember I was like, I've got to get out of this pharmacy. Like, I can't. Like, I hate, like, and my biggest thing was I was, like, helping people feel an addiction that they didn't need. And that broke my heart. Like, my mental health plummeted during that time because I was like, and it was during the time of COVID. I couldn't do anything for anybody. I couldn't help them. Like, it broke my heart. Mm-hmm. Like, I'd come home crying all the time because I couldn't do anything. I'm an emotional person. You know that.
I was about to say, your grandpa's scared.
Yeah, we cry all the time. But I just felt helpless and hopeless. Like, I was like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anybody any good. And I went into pharmacy with the goal of, like, I'm going to be the dude that's giving people medicine that actually, like, helps them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I realized, like, I'm not doing that at all. Like, I'm helping them, but I'm not helping them do what they need to be doing.
Not in the right way.
And so I remember, like, I put my 2 weeks notice in. I was going to work this part-time maintenance job. Yeah. I think I just graduated school too, like, because when I was at the pharmacy, I was finishing up my biology degree, my associate degree, and so during that time of transition, I remember I looked at Abby one day, and Abby's like, "Have you ever thought about going back to school?" And I was like, "Abby, I will never return to Lee. So help me." Like,
you had a hatred.
I hated Lee.
You literally, because like you had a legit hatred because I remember she would say stuff, and you were like, "Don't even mention Lee around Tucker," and I was like.
Well, okay. I think we were talking about you going to college or something. Yeah. And I was
probably right. Because you were like, don't go to Lee.
And Abby loved it.
I didn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't because I hated Lee. God told me not to.
Abby loved Lee, but I hated it. Like, I despised it. And I couldn't stand it. And it's funny because I remember, like, we're sitting in our kitchen and we're talking about this. And then, like, a couple days later, like, out of the blue, I get a letter from Lee about something. I don't remember what it was. And I was like, you know, what if I went back I was always really good at business because I took a bunch of business electives because you have to have a certain amount of electives to graduate. And so I took a bunch of business electives, came back, like did really well in them. And so I remember I started talking to people who, like, there's this one lady who graduated from Lee, was my dad's, like, helped my dad through calculus. And so I called her. She works for NASA, so she's really smart.
Dang.
And so I called her and I was like, hey, like, she did some business majoring too. I was like, just tell me, like, how's the business degree? Like, how's that field? I still didn't know what I wanted to do at this point.
Yeah.
And she was like, if you're considering it, I say you go meet with some people there and sign up and try it. And it's cool. Like, I know this is a God thing because my first class at Lee, my professor, I emailed her to do a Zoom call because I was struggling with an assignment, and she, like, picks up the phone. She's like, hey, do you know this person? I was like, yeah. She goes, yeah, they were at my house last night and was talking about you coming back to Lee. And I was like, that's the person I just talked to, the one that worked for NASA. I was like, that's a God thing for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's cool because all that started opening up. But I went to work in part-time maintenance, and I know nothing about maintenance whatsoever. Like, nothing at all.
Yeah, that's
well, you know me. Like, I used to, like, I was this really arrogant person. I did. I wore, like, nothing but skinny jeans. Some Oakleys.
First
like,
time when him and Abby, Abby brought him, like, to go eat with us. Let's just say Tuck was not good at a first impression.
No, he wasn't.
Period.
Like
pulled up
yeah. Well, my mom had a really nice, like, BMW convertible, and so I pulled up with the top down. Like, it was pretty Sunday.
Music going,
like some
Oakleys.
2 tight of skinny jeans, by the way. Like, I wear skinny jeans now, but, like, they were horrible. They hurt to get in.
And then, which, granted, now that we know he's horrible at finishing meals because he eats it, like, he'll take, like, 2 bites of his food and then, like, eat it later on.
It's not a nerves thing. I just don't.
It's just, you just don't eat. So the first time we met you, he did that same thing. And my dad was like, so help me if he wasn't grateful for that meal. And, like, Mom was like,
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, no. Mom was like, I don't think he's the one. I do not think he's the one. And I was like, Mom, I just have a good feeling about this. She was like, I'm glad you do. And I was like, I don't think. And she was like, the only thing he's got going for him is that we absolutely adore his grandfather. That is it.
Well, Gary Sears has got me more places than I want to admit. Like.
But, sorry, that was so off topic. But, yeah, so at that time period, you weren't the best at first impressions. We love him now. But I mean, we've kept him.
I don't even think I knew how to dig a ditch. Like, I don't think I just didn't know anything about anything with common sense. And so they put me, my first thing was painting this, like, this baby room, like nursing mother's room. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, what side do you paint with? Like, I'm asking these stupid questions, and then, like, I didn't know there was a paint tray that you had to dip in, so I dipped the actual paint, like the roller, in the paint thing, and it's like dripping everywhere. And I'm like, I broke the paint thing too because it was on a handle, like a long handle.
Great first assignment.
I broke it in half, like, trying to paint it because I was painting so hard.
I wish I could have been a fly on the wall that day.
Oh, it was probably horrible. And what's bad is they left me by myself to do this whole room. Like, they went to go do something else. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, y'all don't know what you're going to come back into. And so, it turned out great though. Like, I don't know, the Lord carried that paintbrush, like, took it.
The Lord used you.
Yeah, he made a work of art out of a mess. That'll preach right there. We can preach on that. He'll make a work.
Quote that, and someone's gonna come think we're talking about, like, restoration, and he's really talking about the nursing
mother's room. But he will make a work of art out of a mess. That's a quotable. I might preach it.
Hey friends, I hope you guys have enjoyed part 1 of today's episode. Guys, next week we are going to be doing part 2. There's just so much wisdom, and we just had such a good conversation, me and Tucker, and, you know, it just so much. I had to split it up into 2 episodes because I wanted you to just be able to grasp everything that he was saying and everything that we were talking about. So come back next week to check out episode number 2 from this 2-part episode. And yes, guys, check it out. Don't forget, like I say, and everyone, you know, rate, download, subscribe. Like I said, we have listeners who are in Africa and Germany and just all those crazy places. So you may think it doesn't do much by you helping to rate or download or subscribe or give a little star rating down below, but it really does because it helps spread the word. So you guys, again, be on the lookout next week for episode number 2 to come from this 2-part series and this wonderful conversation that I have with my brother-in-law, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.